Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Literacy Week. It's really a pleasure to be here. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jackie Clayton. I'm the mayor of the city of Grand Prairie, and I'm really happy to be with you here this week for Literacy Week. Today, I'm going to share a little bit of a book that was really special to my family, to my boys growing up. My husband and I read this book to them over the years as they grew up, and if you're not familiar, Roald Dahl has many great books. This one is called BFG, which stands for Big Friendly Giant. It's a really great movie. It was also made into a Steven Spielberg film, if you weren't familiar. So I'm going to start at the very beginning. The chapter is called The Witching Hour. Sophie couldn't sleep. A brilliant moonbeam was slanting through a gap in the curtains. It was shining right onto the pillows. The other children in the dormitory had been asleep for hours. Sophie closed her eyes and laid quite still. She tried very hard to doze off. It was no good. The moonbeam was like a silver blade slicing through the room onto her face. The house was absolutely silent. No voices came from downstairs, and there were no footsteps on the floor from above. The window behind the curtain was wide open, but nobody was walking on the pavement outside. No cars went by in the street. Not even the tiniest sound could be heard anywhere. Sophie had never known quite such a silence. Perhaps, she told herself, this is what they call the witching hour. The witching hour, somebody had once whispered to Sophie, was a special moment in the middle of the night when every child and every grown-up was in a deep, deep sleep and all the dark things came out from hiding and they had the world to themselves. The moonbeam was brighter than ever on Sophie's pillow, and she decided to get out of bed and close the gap in the curtains. If you get punished, we're going to stop there. You get punished if you were caught out of bed after lights out. Even if you said you had to go to the laboratory, that was not accepted as an excuse, and they punished you just the same. There was no one out right now, and Sophie was sure of that. She reached out for her glasses that lay on the chair beside her. They had steel rims and very thick lenses. She could barely see a thing without them. She put them on, and she slipped out of bed and tippy-toed over to the window. When she reached the curtains, Sophie hesitated. She longed to duck underneath the curtains and peer out the window. She wanted to see what the world looked like now in the witching hour. She listened again. Everywhere was deadly still. The longing to look out the window became so strong, she couldn't resist it. Quickly, she ducked under the curtains and leaned out the window. In the silvery moonlight, the village street she knew so well looked completely different. The houses looked bent and crooked, almost like in a fairy tale. Everything was pale and ghostly and milky white. Across the road, you could see Mrs. Rance's shop, where you bought buttons and wool and bits of elastic. It didn't even look real. There was something dim and misty. It was something unique. Sophie allowed her eye to travel further and further down the street. Suddenly she froze. There was something coming up the street on the opposite side. It was something black. It was something tall and black, something very tall and very black and very thin. So that's the end of the first chapter. I hope you enjoy this book. I encourage you to come to the library, sign it out. You can also buy it at a local bookstore. All books are a great investment. I encourage people to get out not just during Literacy Week, but on a regular basis. Come visit our library, read with your family, read on your own. Literacy really is something to enrich your soul, enrich your heart, and enrich your brain. I encourage you all to enjoy Literacy Week. Thank you so much.